Peace, greetings, and welcome back to the Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. I'm your hostess, Deanne. I want to thank you again for tuning in. And please like, subscribe to my channel so I can get more people on this platform, which is filled with information and information. I'm going to be collaborating on a few projects, so stay tuned. So as I announced yesterday, Monday through Thursday, and I was watching. I'm guilty as charged. I was watching Queen Sugar. And it was the new one. It just started today. So it's pretty good, but it's pretty consistent. So I'm going to talk a bit. I hope everyone had a wonderful day. I had to go do some business stuff and went to work legs. So I'm really sore. So I came back and had warmed up some food and prepared a salad. So and I got a chance to watch Queen Sugar. I mean, I want to talk about our creative genius. I know that we have and always have been, back to Miles Davis, back in, well, that was the early, I think he was born in 26 or 27. So we have always let me read my fair use disclaimer. I don't want to get into any trouble, so I'm about to go in, but so let me read it. Fair use disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, got that out the way. So I was reflecting on when I was watching Queen Sugar. I mean, I've watched it from the beginning. From the beginning, I admit, I watched it from the beginning. I was always fascinated with the work and the writing and the music. I mean, I listened to so many levels. And so I was Michelle and DeGale cellos over the music. And I was just so amazed about all facets of that show because there's so much on TV. I mean, I remember when the news would stop the program and then you would get snow. I mean, I'm old enough to remember snow after the news. That was 7 days a week. I don't think anything came on after the news. I'm going back in my memory, but I think the news was really, I don't remember any late night shows. So, yeah, and Saturday Night Live, I remember when that came out. And the news came out after, and then snow, and it was good, because in ways we didn't have cell phones, obviously, and so there was more communication. My parents, we usually had dinner, every evening, and especially on weekends. And so we didn't have any gadgets at the table because we were the gadgets. We could just talk and I would tell stories and, things like that. But that was back in the good old fashioned days, I grew up in the late 60s, early 70s. I graduated high school, 81. So I remember when. But the creative genius, I really want to say we have some crappy shows on TV. And clearly, I believe in my heart of hearts that Queen Sugar is one of the higher level shows. When I say higher level, the writing, the directing, the music, in all facets, I believe it hasn't really like disappointed me, even at the very beginning. There was a commitment on that show to hire to have all female directors. And I really, you know, Oprah Winfrey and Ava DuVernay, they are both executive producers. Good for them. So it's a stellar show. I enjoy it. It's based, you know, loosely based New Orleans. I think it is New Orleans or um, Josephine Parish. So, I've had friends who lived in New Orleans. So I visited New Orleans several times. So I think there's a warm place in my heart for that show. You don't see people on their cell phones. I mean, people answer, no one's, sitting at the table and the phone rings, a landline. So I get it, it's going to be a little bit more in keeping with what's going on in the show. But it's not like people are walking down the street on their cell phones. That's not the so I know the imagery and the backdrop, the directing. I just enjoy the show. I enjoy the show from the very beginning. I just felt it was going to be a good show, and it hasn't been. I haven't been disappointed ever with that show. But with that said, there is a lot of stuff I don't even know how it makes it to TV. I mean, I don't know how it made to the level of television. We have so many channels now, and I'm charging a new speaker so I can. It's going to charge. I'm going to leave it overnight, and it'll be really charged up in the morning. But I just want to bring, other music. I'm a music buff, so I am going to have music on part of the day, and then the other part, I've got some business stuff to do, and also silence. Silence is golden. I really like the sense of silence and peace. I burned incense, and someone came in and to deliver something. And he said, "Oh, it really smells nice in here." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm burning some incense." So, but yeah, we really really have pretty good programming, and we have a lot of crappy stuff. So make sure you are filtering out with your children, your family, you know, and just make a decision, a conscious decision as to what is good, what isn't. But now, I'm gonna this discussion is gonna go a few different directions. So I wanted to now say, even though we have some good stuff on, there's some crappy stuff on, and I do mean crappy. Um, I know it's owned, and I don't know who's behind the show, and I haven't watched it. I'm gonna say I have not watched this particular show, so I'm talking about Underground. Underground. Um, I haven't watched it because the whole word, I can't get with it. I mean, I know that's lame. I should probably watch, but in my heart of hearts, I can't watch Queen Sugar and then watch Underground, because I think of Underground, I think about Underground Railroad, blah blah blah. So I knew it was a period piece, and I knew it was us being enslaved. I don't know why we need to go into that narrative over and over and over again. I think my mother had been watching Roots. It's on one of the networks, the whole, what was it, 13, I forgot how many weeks Roots was on back in the day, but it started again. I think it was, I'm not going to quote that, but I think it maybe Hallmark Channel or one of those little, So again, watching that, I limit my TV watching anyway. And so I'm not going to just flip. No. I usually watch certain programs, and sometimes the TV is totally off. And I watch, a few shows in the day. But I would say Underground, I don't understand. Well, anyway, I can't get past the name. So pardon me for me being that shallow, but I can't get past the name. It's got to grab me in some ways. So I'm going to go into a different direction because I found out there was some disturbing news. I think I touched on it a little bit last night, of a young lady who lost her life and the life of her unborn child. She was 9 months pregnant. And it happened in North Carolina, Wake County. And so I don't, I mean, I understand why people are being crazy like that. We've always had a sense of craziness and it doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. But a pregnant woman, 9 months? So that's deep seated evil. And I hope to God they get two life sentences, because one for the mother and one for the unborn baby, because North Carolina recognizes that far along, especially, two lives. So I don't understand that for the life of me. So that was disturbing today, just remembering that story. And then now we have another story that came out of Arizona, and it was a drive-through. Maybe you heard about it because it was through the drive-through window at Chick-fil-A. And this young man, apparently they typed on his receipt, "Too Biggie, too Biggie." Chick-fil-A, I don't even eat there. I don't even eat too much fast food. I think there's maybe Chipotle on occasion. The bowls, no meat. So the bowls on occasion. So my traditional, I don't even eat any of that. But anyway, this young man, it looked like the picture, he had served in the military, and he had two Biggie. So Biggie Smalls, that was a disrespect towards the dead, Biggie Smalls. He passed on maybe 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. And then to reference this guy to Biggie, that was on the receipt. I hope he sues. I hope he, definitely sues. I would not go back to Chick-fil-A. That's how I get down, because I'm like, you're not going to disrespect me and take my money? Oh, no, 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 no. So hopefully they will have a settlement out of court, perhaps, but it's just total disrespect. Enough is enough is enough is enough. If it had been someone else, another type situation. Who allowed this person who is on the clock to write this ticket and say, "To Biggie"? That's what was on the receipt. And that was out in Goodyear. Goodyear is probably 35 miles out. You know, when you coming into Phoenix from California, you know, the western cities is going to be Buckeye, that's on the 10. And the next city is about Goodyear. Yeah, it's a couple in between, but Goodyear is definitely on the road coming back into Phoenix. So I don't, you know, when will we not have that? When will we? And again, this was a brother. I wanted to make sure I said that. But you know, we're spending money, and we're going to be disrespected. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who does that? So hopefully he kept the receipt. You know, hopefully he'll call corporate. He'll get an attorney. I mean, this is disrespectful. It doesn't matter. There's been more people bigger than him. I don't know why he stood out for them, but it's just another level of disrespect in our community. You know, another level of disrespect. So there was another TikTok has put Gorilla Glue. This, I don't know what state this was out of, but the Gorilla Glue has not gone away. Um, I mean, I don't know if people are bored. I don't know if people. I don't know the mindset of people who do this, but another TikTok has put Gorilla Glue in their hair despite warnings. And it's a picture of this. I don't know. I think it's a boy. Um, so it's just enough. So then now, what was more disturbing? The lady, I'm not gonna say lady, the person who was harassing the brother in Central Park, bird watch, and that was probably a year and a half ago. I think it was a year and a half ago. It seemed like it was before COVID, but yeah, she had a mask on. But her case was dismissed, and now she needs to do maybe community service. I don't know why people don't have a fine and an apology has to be. See, that's why we know we're not living in a just society. You know, if it had been the other way around, it had been a black man harassing a white female, it would have been, you know, hell to pay. But now you have the reverse. Community service, I think that's all she received. That was it. Community service. So another day in America. You know, it's more of the same, more of the chaos and confusion. And I hope it can stop. I know it can, but people have to be willing to wake up in the morning and say, you know, another day, thank you, Most High, ancestors, whatever you believe, and say, thank you for another day. I'm going to be free of a racial slur. Blah, 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 blah. You know, if each person takes time to initiate an intention, you have to have an intention throughout the day. So if you have an intention, you should be able to meet that intention. If you don't have an intention, people can draw your energy in all directions. So if you have an intention, perhaps this can be mitigated. We can avoid this. But I think people they're so used to having What January 6th showed us, no repercussions whatsoever. Even if you're on tape, even if you're on tape, even if people were killed, lost lives, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. Even if the buildings there was some, they didn't set anything afire, I don't know, but crashed through the windows. I mean, it was just so much craziness. So we knew that they were Caucasian. They knew nothing was going to happen. They could go home, and we know the the bodies would have been lined up in the street if Black and brown people had taken any of those actions. But we know our quote unquote limits. You can push the envelope, but you don't know what's going to happen. You can definitely do what you want to do, but in this society, because of the melanin, it's subject to be detrimental 100%. So we have to be cautious, have to be careful, because this is a time to go within and just come out stronger than ever, because we know they didn't create us. They can't destroy us. They didn't create us. They cannot destroy us. So once you know that, it'll set you free. It will set you free. And so I know I went in a couple of different directions tonight, and I wanted to kind of end on a certain note of, sometimes we feel we're in such despair because we see the injustice, we see the bias, we see everything clearly, and we have examples of death, destruction, lives lost on the other side. Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland, that one, we've had so many. We've had so many of our people, young people especially, when I say young, under 40, under certain circumstances, probably, I'm not saying what I am saying. Sandra Bland, very peculiar circumstances, I will say that. And so we need to recognize we cannot continue to do what we do in our community, Black on Black crime. No, we should have a moratorium on that. I know I come under fire with that. But I'm saying, if Caucasians are killing us wholesale and we're killing each other wholesale, what the hey, So we really need to sit down, talk it out, deal with the gangs, There's no room for any of this now in this society, because COVID's taken us out. Cancel. Black on Black crime, Blue Lives Matter, that crime from them to us. And so I just want you all to realize that we're at war. Sister Soldier said that 19, I'm going to say 86 or 92, somewhere in there. She said, opening on her CD, "We're at war." And so that was 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. So we have to recognize that in its worst way. We have to be able to see that as a truth and to govern ourselves accordingly, because this is a time to, excuse me, Drink some water. This is a time for us to be settled and knowing, peaceful and kind to each other, especially to each other, because, excuse me, enough is enough. And I know people are in despair, but keep your chin up. This too shall pass. We will come out on the other side of it. And I think I have my bottle in front of my heater. It's not chilly out here, but in the evening it starts to drop in temperature. But we don't have snow. I think half the country has. It says something about 70% of the country has snow or something like that. I heard this evening. But we are not. We had 70 degrees, perhaps. Yes, so 69, 70 degrees. So it was pretty nice. So yeah, I just want to offer that up, put down the guns in our community, put down this division in our own community. We have to come together as a people. We have to come together as a people. All groups come together, whatever is going on. We have a common goal. We're Black in this country. We're melanated in this country. And so we should govern ourselves accordingly. And so we need to come together with our resources. And that's all I need to say on that. But contact me. If I can hear from a couple of people or a few dozen, pass this link, and let's put our heads together and come up with a plan. We're still early in the year, and I think we have to do something collectively, because a lot of people are doing a lot of different stuff all over the place. But if we can come together with our brain power, the power that we were endowed with. We came here with this knowledge. We came here with this knowing, trusting and believing. So we too know how to get things done. We've gotten things done. We've been high in our community, and revered in our community. So we need to come back to that community, community. So what are you doing in your community? So if you can contact me, if you wish, I would really appreciate the information, and just let me know what's working for you, what's not working, how can I assist, because we're in this together. We have to see common ground in our community and not dividing our community, because that's what the enemy wants. We're playing into the hand of the open enemy. And so let us channel that energy into another reality, and we can do that. We can do that. It's up to us to do it. We're still in this country. We are choosing to stay in this country. I was talking to my brother this afternoon, and I don't know what his position. He doesn't know about the understanding of reparations. He's not really feeling that, because they promised. I told him, we haven't gotten 48 acres and a mule. We haven't gotten, blah blah. So he's of the opinion that it's not going to happen. I don't know why, but whatever the government wants to do, they have the ability to do it. They have the ability to do it. If they want to send money to wherever, let's just say back to Jerusalem every year, they do it. If they wanted to give us money for the pain and suffering, which still continues over 400 or 500, probably getting close to 550 years, they could do it, you know, and to say no more black on black crime, no more blue on black bodies. So whatever you decide to do, you can do it. But there is no interest. Again, we were at 3/5 of a person not too long ago. And so to now turn it around to say, hey, we'll give you reparations. We admit that we did your ancestors wrong and we will compensate. There's no dollar amount that could ease the internal strife, the internal scars, but it would help. It would help. So let me know what your thoughts are. You know, send me a whether if it's an email or however you want to reach out to me, please do. You should have my number. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We will get on to, you know, brighter things in the days and weeks to come. I don't want to, you know, really go into negative and this and woe, it's me. But this is where we are, you know. I don't want to ignore the obvious because something that's blaring at me, I'm like, well, I should cover this. But it can really be a downer. So I'm just trying to manage my talking here in a way that it's not all gloom and doom, because we are great, wonderful people. We know this. We know this. You know, we know we are so compassionate. We know we are so loving. We know we are so kind. So we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. So thank you for tuning in. Stay safe out there. I haven't talked about COVID. I might talk about COVID tomorrow, because I've gotten a few text messages on my phone offering money for getting it injected for me to get the vaccine. Oh my God, gosh. So they're offering money now. I don't know if where you are, if they're offering money, but the struggle is real, girlfriend, boyfriend, I tell you. Well, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to say good night. Be well. Stay safe. I'll be back tomorrow a little bit more in keeping with my time. So 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay. So be well. Blessings. Talk soon. Peace.